friends, welcome to another episode of our lecture series. And in the previous video we have discussed about the Old English period and the features of that period, and also about some important words belong to that period. So in this video we are going to talk about the Middle English period. Okay. Before going to the words, we have to look into the characteristics of that period. And when we think of that period, the main thing is that the English language got developed. That is, the old English inflectional system got weakened, and so many other words from other languages like Scandinavian, French, Latin, and so on. Such words came into English language, and English got gradually developed. Okay, so this had influence in the field of literary works. We know that the poetry is the most important form of the literary work belong to that period, and in the case of poetry, most of the poets were using the new styles, or they were trying a new medium, and some others were still stuck in the Old English type of writings. And when we analyze the works, we can see such differences in the writings. Okay. Then another thing is that when we think of that period, it's period of transition, or it's a period of a kind of experiments. Then we already told that so many words came from other languages, and change happened in the English language, and also the change happened in the writing style. All this make this period a period of transition, or a period of experiments. Okay. We know that in the Old English period, the main theme of the poetry was pastoral. That is, so many pastoral poems are written in that period. Later the Christianity came there, and it had influence in the field of writings also. So many religious things are seen in the works, in the later works. Okay. Just like that, the theme in this period is history, science, and religion. Okay. For the better understanding, we can divide the poetry into three categories. That is, first one is chronicles, second one is religious or didactic, and the third one is romances. Okay. When we think of the chronicles, the first work is Leseman's Brut, and this work was written in 1205. And Leseman was a monk, and the story of this work is the history of Britain itself is the story, and it started from the landing of Brutus to the death of Cadwallader, and the main source of the story is Romance de Brut of Wales, and this is later translated into Norman French language by Geoffrey of Monmouth, and he named this Historia Regum Britannia. Okay, and the next important writer of this period is Robert of Gloucester. Okay, the Robert of Gloucester is known for his rhyming chronicles. He was known for his rhyming chronicles, and I think he started writing in the end of 13th century, and he was greatly influenced by writers like Geoffrey of Monmouth and William of Malmesbury. Okay, and this is all about the chronicle poems. And when we came into religious or didactic poems, didactic means something which intended to learn something about moral. That is didactic. And the first work belonged to this period is Ormulum, Ormulum, and this work is written by the writer named Orm, and it was written in Northeast Midland dialect. Okay, and the next work is Owl and the Nightingale. This is in the form of a conversation between the Owl and the Nightingale. And the one important thing is the authorship of this work is still doubtful. Okay, and in the case of this work, the Nightingale is Nightingale represents the joy of life, and the owl represents the wisdom and sobriety of life. The another important work belong to this period is the Cursor Mundi, Cursormundi, and this work is composed in the north in the first quarter of 14th century. And the main thing is this work is completely a religious work with an encyclopedic nature. That is, this work treats almost all the stories belong to the Old and New Testaments. Okay. Then came the alliterative poems. In the alliterative poems, we have 4 poems that are Pearl, Purity, Patience, then Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Okay. The four poems are in a unique manuscript, and it is now it is preserved in British Museum. Okay, and when we discussed about these poems, the finest among them is Pearl. The Pearl is the finest among these poems, and it was an allegorical poem. Okay, allegorical poem in the vision that the writer is searching for a precious pearl that he let slip in a grass, and in his vision the pearl is a dead maiden. Okay, and through this work he gave a glimpse of New Jerusalem. Okay, and throughout the story, throughout this poem, there was a long conversation between the poet and the pearl. Okay, and in this poem, the passages are real moving beauty with sincerity and passion. This is the characteristics of this work. There is no need to give more descriptions for this. And the other works are Pearl and Purity. Okay, and both these works are fine arts, but we know that the finest among them is Pearl. Okay, then the Purity and Patience, both these works are religious or didactic in nature. These works are highly spiritual. Okay, then came the Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Okay, without any doubt, we can say that this is the best romance in that period. So we can discuss about this work in another video. Okay, then we can go to romances. When we discussed about, or when we analyze about the romances, we have 4 kinds of works, that are the Matter of England, the Matter of Britain, the Matter of Roman the Great, then the Matter of France. Okay, in the Matter of England, there came the stories of the history of England and also about its heroes. Such stories came under the group of the Matter of England. Okay, then another one is the Matter of Britain. Okay, when we think about the Matter of Britain, it is about, or the stories belong to this group are closely or loosely connected with King Arthur, like Arthur and Merlin, or Eowyn and Gawain, or Morte d'Arthur, etc. Such works came under this group. Then came the works of the Matter of Roman the Great, and under this category we have a lot of themes. We have a lot of classical themes came under this category, mainly about the exploits of Alexander the Great or the Siege of Troy, etc. That kind of work come under this category. And the next thing is the Matter of France. Okay, the Matter of France. Under this category, the stories came under this category are about the legends of Charlemagne. That is, the Charlemagne legends came under this category. Okay, this is all about the poetry. Now we can look into the prose writings. Okay, we know that prose has not much importance in that period, but some important works are there, just like Anglo-norman or the Untitled of Inviat. These are the two main works belong to that period. And when we talk about this verse, Anglo-norman, it is the important prose work belong to that period, and it was written for three noble ladies who chose their life as anchors. Okay, and because of that, in the whole prose, there were a guideline for these ladies. Without any doubt, we can tell that the guidelines or rules in this in prose is a kind of guideline for the moderation of everything in life. That is this Anglo-norman, and the next one is Untitled of Inviat, and this is written in 1345 by Dan Michel of Northgate. He was the writer, and it is a translation of French work. We know that many works from the French and Latin were translated at that time, so that this is a translation of a French work, and from literary point of view, this work has not much importance, but from linguistic perspective, it has a lot of importance. And other thing is, this work was written in Kentish dialect.